Warning: the following video contains explicit language which may be offensive to some viewers or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
Hello and welcome to this video. Hope everyone out in the world is doing well. My sinuses are once again being sinuses. So, before we get off into this video, just a reminder that on Saturday and Sunday, each one of those days, I upload one video, and it's a full episode of Welcome to Night Vale. It's, to be honest with you, it's basically me pausing and laughing my backside off. So it's kind of crazy. It's a really funny horror type thing. If you like a little bit of horror in your comedy, this is the podcast for you. If not, don't listen, don't watch. It's, don't do anything you don't like. That's just, kind of my thing. But with all that being said, let's get into this. We are starting episode 6 of season 1 of the Black Tapes podcast called The Devil's Door. So, without further ado, let's get into this opening.
Oh my Lord, here's a just reward. Bring me my devil just behind the door.
It's interesting. I would love this to get sit down and write down the lyrics from each episode's opening, or get a printout of all the lyrics, because they're kind of episode specific.
He said, and flies down the road like
I'm returning one of 11 calls from somebody named Alex Regan. It's Richard Strand. Okay, goodbye.
Now we're recording. Cool.
Yeah, I've said this in other videos. I know I've said it in the Welcome to Night Vale videos, that sometimes these intros like this, if you're just listening to it, not trying to make a video, they're a good length. But when you're trying to make a video and you're worried about time constraints, they're too long just to sit through, but too short to skip past. It's one of those things.
And I'm going to do the intro part as well. Yeah. My emphasis, I think, was just a little bit too much dun, dun, I don't know. Let me just do it again. I'm doing it again.
See, I always wondered, that particular conversation in the different intros, if that's in character or if that's them just screwing around and someone went, hey, we can put this in and just mess with people.
And we'll go flying through the kingdom of the universe.
She said she saw someone standing over his bed.
Is it true that you disappeared for 5 days?
I know.
Yeah, this whole Strand thing, I have a feeling we will probably, or I should say, I am hedging my bets, say that by the time we hit the end of the season, either we're going to really love Strand, or we're going to want to execute him on the spot. One of the two. I don't think there's going to be very little middle ground between the two motions towards Strand.
Adding another layer of crazy on top of crazy.
The Black Tapes podcast is an exploration of life, belief, faith, and occasionally the paranormal.
Occasionally the paranormal, like every episode.
This season we're focusing our lens on the work of the Strand Institute and its enigmatic founder and president, Dr. Richard Strand.
Yeah, this intro within an intro within intro. It's kind of like plans within plans within plans. You know, or kind of like a puzzle with an enigma within a paradox.
This week, we'll be digging into two of my least favorite aspects of paranormal investigation: demons and psychiatric hospitals.
What's the difference? This is America. We would rather trust an invisible man in the sky to fix our problems than actually work on them ourselves. I mean, just look at the state of mental health care in this country.
Sometimes I wish I had Dr. Strand's certainty to keep me safe.
Yeah, a lot of ways. See, I have to agree with it. I kind of wished I had the certainty about things that I had when I was in my 20s, to be honest with you.
Speaking of Strand, he had a few concerns regarding this podcast. A few days ago, he stopped by our offices, unannounced.
I hate it when that happens. People just show up unannounced, especially at my home.
I'm just not sure I understand.
What is there to understand? It's harassment.
Because of this podcast?
Yes.
What's happening exactly?
People are asking me questions. They want me to speak on their programs. I was invited to debate a creationist on CNN.
Oh, that would have went over well.
To participate in a celebrity podcast version of something called Chopped.
I remember that show. It was me and my wife back. Hell, this is when we were still living in the apartment. We would watch Chopped. It was on one of the networks that we watched all the time. That was kind of cool. I like that reference.
Can you cook?
What does that have to do with anything?
Strand went on to explain that he'd been receiving these requests because of interest generated by this podcast. People didn't really want to talk about skepticism. They wanted to talk about Strand himself. More specifically, about Coralie's disappearance. A subject Strand didn't seem interested in discussing.
Yeah, I don't think he would be.
At least not on television.
I agreed to participate in your program in order to increase awareness and foster critical thinking when it comes to the paranormal, not dig up the past.
I understand, and I believe we've provided a forum and support for you to do that. But if you remember, I did come clean about my interest in you and your personal story.
He has to acknowledge that.
I had no idea that discussion would lead to this level of personal harassment.
I'm sorry that this is happening.
Are you?
Yes, of course.
Why?
You know, why is he being such a dick all of a sudden? I mean, I can understand being mad about the harassment and people and all this good stuff, but, you know, she was acting in good faith, and you know she was. So, you know, stop being a dick.
Can't you keep the focus on my work? Why all the salacious attention mongering?
Your work is an integral part of the story, but you know we're not interested in doing an infomercial for your institute.
Do you honestly think that what you're doing is any different than the tabloids?
He does have a point there, but he's still being a dick.
Absolutely.
You need to honor our agreement.
Well, we don't really have an agreement.
Maybe we should.
That's
He's got a point.
not really how this type of journalism works.
Journalism? Is that what you call this? This is more like reality television on the radio.
Yeah, 6 one way, half dozen the other.
Okay, I understand that you're upset. Is there something we can do to help mitigate the harassment?
I don't think I'm going to be able to continue.
Uh-oh. That's going to be a loss.
I'm sorry.
I'll come back to Strand in a bit, I promise. But in the meantime, I sat down for a previously scheduled interview with writer Sanford Haynes to discuss his new book, The Consolation of Ghosts.
Uh-oh. That seems like a really interesting title.
why we believe in the paranormal.
I knew you'd get to that question.
Oh, you're psychic too.
It was my publisher's idea.
Sure. Sanford Haynes has written many books on spirituality. You might recognize some of the titles. The Sadness of Today is the Joy of Tomorrow. Does God Cry? And Will I Know You in Heaven? I caught him on a break from the talk show circuit to chat about his new book.
My publisher...
And we will go ahead and leave that there. Leave it kind of hanging in the balance for next video. So, hope everyone's enjoying this. I'm enjoying experiencing this for the first time with everybody out there. And until next time, be a good human. Be good to other humans. Peace.
Hey, it's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?